Hi everyone, it's Rax. A lot of people that watch my YouTube channel or come to my streams have asked me, Rax, you never play POE1, we never see you play POE2, we haven't seen any videos about any of the changes. Have you given up on the game and are you done with grinding gear games and these games? Not at all. And I think POE2 has been absolutely cooking. And I think that the new POE1 League announcement looks absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to make a quick video recapping all the great things that Grinding Gear Games has been doing in case people haven't been paying attention. I know a lot of people were very upset with POE2, and I think rightfully so, because the loot was bad, the monsters were killing everybody, they nerfed everything. I get it, but there have been some outrageous changes that you might not be aware of that they made in the last month that I'd like to cover. So overall, just a very positive video talking about these great games. We'll get into it right after a quick word from this video's sponsor.
Guys, today's video is once again sponsored by Rocket Money. I downloaded their app a few months back with our first sponsorship, and actually I found out I liked it way more than I thought I would. The first thing that it helped me do was with my recurring subscriptions. It showed me I had almost a $200 yearly subscription from a brand that will not be named that I canceled immediately. This saved me $200 right there. Another thing that it can do for you is it can help lower your bills for you. You can scan through and see where your bill's coming from and try to negotiate a better price for you. Finally, it can help you manage your budget. I had some things in mind. How much do I spend on food and gas and rent? And then I actually looked at the breakdown on Rocket Money, and it was not what I thought. And some of it was kind of horrifying, but at least I could go in there and try to fix it thanks to their analytics. You can try Rocket Money for free. The link is down below, and I thank them again for sponsoring this video.
All right, so in the last month, Grinding Gear Games has released already two major patches for POE2, 0.2F and 0.2G, and now we have word that 0.2H is the next thing on the horizon. So there's so much info here, I actually made a Google Doc summarizing the patch notes. So I made patch notes of patch notes here. We'll go through it very quickly. But first, one thing that I'd like to show you very quickly is a 30-second clip about Path of Exile 1 that if you haven't seen it, Grinding Gear Games just dropped this.
These worlds are endless, and yet they are a prison. Help me find the originator.
So, I mean, maybe this is pathetic, but that alone is enough to get me very hyped. Let me tell you something. I've played Diablo 3 for years, played Diablo 4 for years, played PoE 1 for about a year, played PoE 2 since the beginning, played Last Epoch, played No Rest for the Wicked, played the Slowromancer, played a lot of ARPGs, right? Even played Wolcen. For me, still, I think PoE 1 is still the best ARPG. I was one of the people who was grievously wounded by the fact that PoE 1 really hasn't had updates for a long time. And if you did not know, the Atlas is kind of, as far as I understand, is the endgame system. So it looks like a mega endgame update to PoE 1, where they'll reveal it on June 5th, and then we can play it on June 13th. I couldn't be more excited for this. I genuinely love Path of Exile 1. It is literally a mission of mine for people that don't like PoE 1, whether you don't like the bloat, or it's too hard to get into, or you can't follow a build guide, or it's just too complicated. I am very interested in actively trying to change your mind, because I think once people can get over that hump, you're going to absolutely love this game. It's got everything if you can get past that barrier to entry. So that alone makes me very excited. I absolutely love it. Can't wait for PoE 1. That's all the update we have now, but on June 5th, of course, I'll make a video about everything that they announce. Couldn't possibly be looking forward to it more. For me, it's still the very best ARPG. Now, let's talk about POE2. Now, before we look at all of these, I've just kind of summarized all the patch notes. Maybe I missed a few things. If I missed something important, throw it down in the comments if you know what they are. But POE2 has been a little bit of a roller coaster. I hear people say all the time that it's not an excuse that the game is in early access. People say the same thing about No Rest for the Wicked. People were mad about some things in that game, and they say, "I don't care that it's in early access. If it's bad, I'm gonna rage about it." Um, I can very equally both see that standpoint, and really, I also can't see that standpoint. I see it in equal parts. I get that it's your time. I get that you're not a paid tester. I get all of those concepts, and that if it's just not fun providing your feedback, that it isn't fun, is exactly what you should be doing. I totally agree with you on that. On the other hand, I think that with the way that the internet currently works and the way that information travels, I would be scared to death as a game developer to ever release something in early access these days, because it feels like people will never take into account that maybe everything is not fully done yet, and they're trying to just get your feedback on the pieces that they do have done so far. It seems like a lot of people are unwilling to play the game in that frame of mind, and maybe it's unreasonable to ask them to do that. That's fine. I'm not here to defend one way or the other, but I'm definitely of the opinion where if Path of Exile releases a patch like the one that just released with the Huntress, I played it, and I would say, like most of you, that was probably the least fun that I had in PoE2. The game was very difficult, and I like difficult games. Elden Ring is one of my favorite games ever, for example. But it felt difficult in a lot of the wrong ways. A lot of the quality of life that they wouldn't put into the game, the swarming monsters in the second zone when I have no build and I have no gear, that doesn't feel great, among a lot of other things. So what Grinding Gear Games did is they did all this in a month. They had these 3 massive patches, and there's a lot of content here. I mean, this is pages and pages and pages and pages of stuff that they changed in a month in an early access game. And as far as I know, Path of Exile 2 is not actually releasing until like the end of the year. So we're going to get some more classes in. We're going to get the last couple of acts. And if they continue at this trajectory, if they make this many significant changes and make the game a lot better, by the time the game launches, if that was your first experience, I'm really, really a believer, maybe this is copium, that Grinding Gear Games is going to deliver an absolutely excellent game. So in general, all I'm trying to say is I felt the same way that you did. I didn't like the patch really at all. I left my feedback and I moved on. But the work that they've done in the last month trying to, reverse the course of the game, I think has been quite substantial. What did they change? Well, they gave us respecking ascendancies. If there's one thing I've learned creating content for all these games, people despise when you lock them into a choice. If you don't let them change what they're doing, they're going to hate you forever. I really don't think this is an option anymore in video games. I understand where Grinding Gear Games comes from. I understand the idea. Making your choices matter is cool. But in ARPGs, where the game is about making a ton of different builds and respecking and trying this and that, I don't really think it works anymore. They made the charm system better, which the charm system absolutely completely sucked in every way that a system can suck. But this actually helps with crowd control now. So that's good. They improved the stash affinities. This actually matters because when you're throwing your gear into the stash, when it neatly sorts into all the different stash tabs, life is good. You can bookmark Atlas points, sort of helpful, when you're looking for those citadels and you can't really find where they are. Now you can go back and find them rather than searching through the Atlas for 10 minutes. You get unlimited T0 pinnacle boss attempts. This is beyond incredible for the casual players, which is most of the audience. You should be able to experience the fights, and you should be able to get them down. I love the World of Warcraft approach where they had the easy version of the bosses and then the insane version for the tryhards. Lets everybody see the content, gives the really good players something to gnaw on. I love this change. The tower revamp. I think the very common opinion on towers is towers just suck, and I don't know why they're in the game. I've had this opinion since the beginning of POE2. But at least with the towers that they have had in the game, they have, I agree, made them a lot better. I give you credit for that. Are towers the answer? Do I still want towers in the game? Nope. I still wish they'd get rid of them, but they did make them better, so they're at least tolerable now. You can track rare monsters from the beginning. Man, they didn't want to do that, and it made the mapping experience miserable. How many times did you go through a map, you finally unlocked, got to the final, whatever it was, 150 monsters, and it showed the elites on the map, and they were like 10 screens behind you. It's so annoying. Now you can see them from the beginning. I actually got to play, I played some with this change in the game, and it felt a lot better. The number of this solved backtracking way more than the amount of checkpoints that they added. The rune tiers, they adjusted them so you don't get the shitty ones later on. They put the sockets in all the different weapon types. I think, what was it, like wands and scepters didn't have sockets in them. That felt stupid as hell. Totems have more resistances. Now they can stay alive, less stuns on players. They rebalanced a bunch of skills. This is a huge one. Whenever I'm searching for an item in vendors in the campaign, I usually type rare as one of my keywords in my regular expression in the search bar. But now there's rarity borders on the items themselves, so that's nice. Shrines are easier to click. Nothing pisses me off that when I'm trying to run in and click the shrine, I can't click it. They nerfed some OP monsters, and they made 50 bug fixes. That's one of the patches. One of them that they made in the last month. Then they did the ultimate massive loot patch. Full disclosure, I did not play this patch. However, everyone and their mom, everyone that I know that plays POE2, all streamers, all users in my chat, all told me it was an outrageous improvement, a huge improvement. The normals stop dropping at a certain point. You get way more currency. You get better rares. You get more rares. Uniques and bosses and wisps always drop a rare. The chests, they drastically improved. Can I make a comment on this? I really don't understand this. I don't get why chests kind of universally suck in ARPGs. I just don't get it. Like, the whole idea when I was a little kid, when you're playing Zelda and you're going through the game and you get to a castle, there's usually like one chest or only a few in the castle, and if you find them, they have godly loot. It's very worth your while to go off the beaten path and go look for them. I really don't understand the idea of not making chests and ARPGs really godly. You can tone down the amount of times that they spawn, but my god, dude, if you're going to put a treasure chest in one of my maps, please, for the love of God, make it worthwhile. So I don't think this needs to happen in POE2. I think this needs to happen in every ARPG. You took the whole Zelda vibe completely out of it for me, and chests are usually just a meme in these games, unless you're like Kurost rune farming in Diablo 2, or like, I don't know, doing like your pit zerker or something. Like, do the chests have good MF in those runs? I don't even know. Anyway, the strong boxes are drastically improved. Trial of the Sekimas, the chests were improved. Rare currency was added to the Trial of the Chaos. I hated doing these chaos runs because I played hardcore and Tornado Bird killed like 8 of my characters. But I asked my chat, the people who were playing softcore who did Trial of the Chaos like a million times. I asked them straight up at the end, does the vendor ever sell like corrupted loot that is actually good? And not a single person in my chat could ever tell me that any item was worth buying. So instead of trying to fix the items, it sounds like they just added the rare currency. Decently smart way to solve it, because the loot there apparently was beyond horrible. Expedition was improved to 0.5x rarity on the Delirium. I think they also toned down simulacrums. More accessibility to the pinnacle encounters. You don't have to farm like 10,000 splinters, or they drop more often. Then they also made player changes, improvements, and threw in another 30 bug fixes. All of this, and this is the summarized version, happened in 1 month. But to quote the Diablo 4 Champfire from yesterday, but wait, there's more. Now, in the latest patch, 0.2h, there's tons of quality of life for the stash tabs. Again, you might kind of laugh at this. I absolutely don't. When I'm shift-clicking all of my items into the stash tabs, when all of the affinities work well, I can't explain to you how much that actually matters. So this actually means something to me. You can use quick currency on strongbox and essences. If I read the patch notes correctly, it says that you have to have the currency in your inventory to use it. I don't understand this. Like, why? Like, if I want to corrupt a strongbox or something, or corrupt an essence, or use some kind of currency on them, why do I have to carry a stack of the currency with me? Why can't I check an option to use it from my stash? This is another thing that I wish they would concede on. If I read it correctly, I think they said, if I read 0.2h, I think you have to have it. I'm not going to be able to find it here. I think you have to have it in your inventory. So I wish you could do it from your stash. More greater and perfect jeweler's orbs. These are the things that let you have a 6 link. This is very, very good for casual players. The blasters will get these no matter what. I never had a problem getting a 6 link on anything, even on the old loot where nothing dropped. But now you will be able to have a 6 link, which is good. And the level 20 skill gems, if you never saw one of these and didn't understand why they were so expensive, it's because they only dropped at a certain monster level. I think it had like an insanely small chance to drop at eye level like 81, and like a higher chance to drop at 82, which is like, I think like a corrupted or a double corrupted or a double leveled up like T 16, 15 map. I can't quite remember the numbers on it, but you only got the level 20 skill gems if you did extremely hard content, and then it had a low drop rate. So even if they just drop in the regular just max level maps, your access to a level 20 skill gem to actually max it will be much higher, which is very significant for like minion players and spellcasters. They made massive breach improvements with with how the AI is, how they spawn, how they extend the timer, and the loot drops at the end. That's probably the greatest change I've ever heard of. I was begging for that. Rogue Exile improvements and another 20 bug fixes. So all I wanted to do, guys, was put together a video saying, believe me, I haven't forgotten about grinding gear games. I certainly haven't forgotten about POE1. I think it's the best ARPG still. I haven't forgotten about POE2. I have been noticing all the changes that they've been making. I have heard a lot of people, especially with the loot patch, say it made it outrageously better. I have always been a believer that on the launch of POE2, the game is going to be great. So I'm just really looking forward to everything that they are going to throw out there. And by the way, let me make one more comment here. All the memes that people were making fun of POE2, like all the Frosty videos, all the Hog videos, and everything else, the roasting on Reddit. Like, I get it. I don't work at grinding gear games, so maybe if I worked at grinding gear games, it would royally piss me off. I just think it's funny. Like, it's just funny content. Grinding Gear Games has responded very well to it. Jonathan did all those interviews when the world was burning. That was actually very brave of him, even when he had people said he had a very bad attitude or a bad reaction. Guys, he's a human being, man. It's fine. It's whatever. It wasn't even that bad. It was fine. To me, everything is fine. I love when people meme on stuff, and I especially love when the gaming companies just say, "Okay, let's fix it," and then they fix it. So hopefully everybody has calmed down from everything. Everything is all good, and yeah, I mean that's it, guys. So really, really looking forward to everything from Grinding Gear Games. Want to thank Rocket Money again for sponsoring the video. The link to download it if you want to try it's down below. And yeah, I'm the good things are on the horizon. I can't wait to play POE1. I'm gonna have a Red Bull IV and try to make, if you guys are interested, I'll try to make some content. I would love it if you would play POE1. If you're not a POE1 player, game's fucking amazing. You should play it. Believe me. Thank you.